Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. What I'm trying to killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up, execute goals regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's an art tool. Reflect on all the juice like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah. Aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you're fearing. And watch it all rise, the righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring. Because it's unseen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing. What you retrieving, mentally speaking. Life that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation rather want it, you need it. Could fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the tribe with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation rather want it, you need it. Could fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the tribe with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Hey. Yeah.
We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental how clean as a whistle. Attention's a trap that can lead you astray. Steering this ship through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track, we the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. Who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen.
It's on you, tell the truth.
Peace, everyone. Welcome back to the People's Podcast, where the ears that will listen and where your opinion matters. Tonight is not just another conversation. Tonight is a gathering of people, perspectives, expressions, growth, and truth. We're sitting down with Ryan James, a creative entrepreneur, event developer, mentor, live host, and someone dedicated to bringing people together through storytelling, music, combat sports, and community culture. This is a safe space for reflection and honesty and healing, growth, and deeper understanding. No judgment, no masks, just real conversations. If you're listening tonight, we invite you to open your mind, challenge your perspective, and hear the deeper meaning behind the journey, because every story carries a lesson, pain, wisdom, and transformation. Could you read the deeper meaning, Golden Eagle?
Sometimes people only see the spotlight, the events, the microphones, the crowds, or the special media presence. What they do not always see is the pressure behind leadership, the responsibility of carrying vision, or the emotional weight that comes with trying to build something meaningful. While uplifting each other at the same time, a lot of creators become the voice for everybody else while silently trying to find their own balance internally. Community builders often carry invisible stress because they become a place where people can lean for motivation, support, opportunity, or direction. The deeper meaning tonight is understanding that purpose is bigger than popularity. Real impact is not always measured by numbers, money, or attention. Sometimes impact is measured by one person who decided not to quit because they heard your story. Sometimes it's the connection it's the connection you created between people you never would have crossed paths with otherwise. Growth is also requires evolution. You cannot build healthy spaces while neglecting your own mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Leaders need healing too. Creators need the support too. Visionaries still have moments of doubt, exhaustion, and rebuilding. Tonight's about understanding the human behind the platform. Let's have a good conversation.
Welcome. Peace and love, everybody on the panel, and peace and love, Ryan James.
Hello.
What's up?
How you doing?
All right.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I'm honored and delighted. See, I personally know you, and I love you and your wife. I just do. And those that don't know you are missing out on somebody seriously amazing, because I just gotta say, you're a multifaceted, dimensional, just your thinking and your way of seeing things, bringing things together. I've been to one of your events, an event with you outside of that, and amazing. Just your energy is joyful, and I just appreciate being in your presence.
Thank you.
So what first inspired you to creating spaces and opportunities for people?
So, oh man, I can go. I've been doing this. I started like as a teenager. Like I used to rap with my best friends. We had a group named Trump Tight back in the day, and we did our first shows at Scores. So we used to have this bar called Scores on Park Avenue. And I remember as a 16-year-old going in there and handling the business for us to get paid for a show. And ever since then, like my whole business, shows and stuff like that, I've always had that mentality. And I shifted about 20 years old to managing people and working with artists with talent. And I love it. I mean, because I figure I'm like, I wasn't going to be a rapper. I love rapping, but I just love music. You know, I come from a music orientated family. My dad was a drummer who played with the Ohio Players and like a lot of different bands and stuff. So musically is naturally in me. And I just love working with artists that got the talent and being able to put them in that position. So this started over 15, 20 years ago. And I just always like putting together shows and events and recording music, putting out CDs, putting people in outlets that can show their talent. It's a long time coming.
I love that. When you look back at your journey, what moment made you realize your voice and your vision could truly impact others?
I would say, you know, one of the things is when I got to being able to put these events together, and once I start putting the media, I've always put media in like the community behind whatever I do, because I always wanted like more people to know. I just didn't want to be a person that did underground stuff. So whenever I do a rollout of anything, I make sure every big outlet in the city, from the News Journal, Richland Source, WMFD, like everybody knows about it, and it's plastered everywhere. And once I start doing that, more people in the community start speaking about things I was doing. And that and it started kind of gave me a bigger respect to say like, hey, I know if Ryan's doing something, everybody's going to know about it. And it's a legit thing, because I kind of put my money on it by exposing what I'm doing to all these big outlets. And
Mm.
once I did that, I figured my voice is carrying. So things I do got a little bit of a reputation. But I mean, I still got some people to convince, but I think my name holds a little bit of weight when I do things.
Okay, okay. So a lot of people see the finished project,
Mhm.
but they never see the struggle. So, what's behind the scenes while you're building the brand?
Oh man, so you know, it goes back like me behind the scenes they see a lot of business and stuff from what I do in music, but behind it all, my story, you know, all the way through my rough 20s, I had a different life. I wasn't this guy everybody sees now. I was rough. I talk about in a book I wrote about my life. I did some bad things. I was in the streets. I was doing street things and ignorant things, and all that though. When I was doing those things, I had a different, like, that little bit behind this whole purpose I'm at now. I was raised by good parents and good grandparents that gave me morals, to be the man I am. I just was choosing to go a different path, but it built me. Doing the wrong thing, I tell people all the time, being in the wrong position and being on the wrong side of the tracks, it built the character that kind of created the man you see today. A lot of people may see me doing all these different things and being in the eye of and hosting shows, but they'll never know of the personal struggle I've had to get to this person. And I'm still working on myself.
So, can you put your book in the comments?
Yes, I can.
And also the name of your podcast?
Yes, I sure can. So I got so I will put the name of the book is called The Businessman,
Okay.
and you can get to it on Amazon. And actually, I'll make sure I get the link in here before I'm done. And my podcast, I have a few. The podcast I got right now is I got two podcasts. I got a podcast called UPNO Live, which is community based, and I cover a lot of, like, my first couple seasons. Oh my gosh, I went crazy because I have a studio at the Barrington One building. And my first couple seasons, I interviewed probably everybody in the city, from the police chief to the mayor was at my ribbon cutting, but it was before she was the mayor. Jennifer Kime, downtown Mansfield, like, so many people, Aurelio Diaz, so many people I got to interview, and on UPNO Live, and that's a community based thing where we talk about community subjects, things that's going on, real life situations. I've met with the president of NAMI about mental health. We had a mental health episode, which is important because May is Mental Health Month.
Yes.
And that's very important. So that hits me dearly. And so we did a lot of good things on UPNO Live. My last few episodes, I interviewed book author, Sierra Hardin on her book, and I interviewed some other people. But it's just a good feel good community thing where I can get with people in the community. Now my other one is AFP, Beyond the Cage Door podcast, which I truly love. Shout out to Dave Yaney and American Fight Promotions. This outlet for AFP, it's an MMA fight league, and kind of similar to UFC, BKFC, and this right here out of Ohio. And Dave Yaney is actually from Ontario, Mansfield native. That's the actual CEO owner of this. And I've been blessed with the opportunity to run a podcast, interview some of the biggest MMA names, some of the biggest names in BKFC. I've interviewed everybody from, Karina Dam, which was a UFC champion, all the way to BKFC world champ, Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt. I've been able to be in rooms with some pretty popular people, and it's exciting. And it's just me being me. I tell people all the time, I'm no media personality. I'm no top-notch host. I just try to be me. But, Yeah, that's some of the podcasts that I do.
So, where you're putting this information, you are putting it in the private chats. At the top, it'll say
Got
comment. You
I
see
got
it?
you.
Okay. This
Yep.
way, everybody gets to see it.
I got you. Yes.
So, next question. How do you balance creativity, leadership, mentoring, and personal life without losing yourself in the process?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I was just talking to the good friend of mine, Jameson Miltier. We were just talking about this, and we were like, how do we manage, because we trying to get caught up on events and stuff we're doing, and he was like, man, life been lifing lately. And he said, and I'm like, and one of the things I told him is try. Shouts out to my beautiful wife, Heather James. She deals with me, and when she married me, she knew she took on all this.
Oh, God bless her soul.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, from doing the podcast to having my business with my music, recording, everything I do, she managed to, like, she deals with it all. And then coming home, I'm a father, I'm a full-time father because my son stays with me now. And with me and my wife. And so yes, balancing all that and still trying to do things like this, and I'm getting ready for Cypher City Hip Hop Festival this summer, and that's usually summer gets to getting busy for me. It's a little difficult, along with my day job. I'm a full-time nutrition service manager for Ohio Health. And when I do that, it's like my Monday through Friday is just boggled with Teams calls and business. So it gets a little hectic. It does.
So, what lessons has podcasting taught you about human connection and communication?
I would say it's all about, one thing I learned about podcasting is it's a feeling, right? It's sometimes you may not have the right question or the right, thing that you want to get across, but at the same time, it's let me know, like, being yourself, no matter who it may be, no matter if it's a BKFC champion or a young up and coming Arthur talking to you, you just kind of vibe with them and learn to be close to, just get them to relax and be more comfortable with you. Like, and that's my biggest thing. When I talk to people, first thing they do is when they talk to me, they get relaxed, because I don't really get too over the top or in the weeds with conversations. I'll be laid back and we just talk real and I think that's what kind of makes them open up more. I've been known to just make people open up just by having that natural conversation. So being yourself is what I would say is the best way to get people to open up.
So I'm going to ask my panel if they have any questions to ask you, but first I want to get into what is Behind the Cage.
So, what is Behind the Cage? So is that like the podcast, or what's behind my cage?
The podcast.
I got you. So AFP Beyond the Cage is a podcast that pretty much we deal with, like, a lot of times when we are talking to fighters. So AFP does an event like every other month, right? So before a fight comes out, we like to get in-depth interviews with those fighters before they hit the cage. And what I cover on that podcast, I don't talk about stats. I don't talk about your past record in the ring was blah, blah, blah. I just get to know them. And when I get to know them, we talk a little bit about, like, what's their fighting routine? What's their eating diet look like? And what's some of the things that you like about the promotion AFP. And the biggest thing I always say, because I always say like, okay, let's go beyond the cage now, meaning I go a little bit deeper. And I always talk to them about what motivates them to fight, to do what they do in the ring. And usually when I ask that question, they get deep. And that's what I want. You know, I want to see, I want to take all the fanciness off and say, what's your motivation? And when we get there, it's personal. It's no longer a conversation about who's going to beat who in the ring. Like, no, let's talk about your life. You know, I've had guys I've interviewed that sit there and got teary-eyed on the show talking about their personal life, like how it is struggling, dealing with a rough job that's, you know, beat them down, but then still getting in that ring. And we've been able to get emotion like that out of fighters. And that's what I love about Beyond the Cage Door podcast, is because we just get a little bit deep. We don't sit there and we don't talk about stats and numbers, and we talk a little bit about the fight, and we just talk about the passion of it. So that's what Beyond the Cage Door podcast is.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask Golden Eagle if he has anything.
Yeah, I guess I just want. I'm just curious. You're roughly. I mean, I kind of hate to ask anybody to show their age, but I'm just curious how old you are and how long you have been doing not just the podcast but the MMA thing. You know.
So I am 46 years old.
Okay.
And I've been doing. I'm going on close to maybe 8 months with the AFP podcast. And I've been doing UPNO Live for about 2 to 3 years.
Okay. All right.
I've been promoting music, promoting shows for over 20 years.
Okay. And
recording music for over 20 years.
I guess probably one more question. How long did it take when you decided to write your book and just sat down and started putting it together? How much time did you have to put into just getting from page one to the end, you know, or to tell your story?
Roughly, it took a long 6 months, but it was 6 months in and out. It was like 1 month going in hard, another month, then another month going in hard, and you know, just bouncing. It could have took me 3, but it took me 6. I think the biggest part of writing my book is having the courage to tell the story.
Gotcha. Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah, it was the courage to tell the story.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely that can be difficult for anybody, honestly.
I
can relate a little bit, you know, because
yeah,
I mean, actually, I've been on here for a couple months now, and I still catch myself holding back when it comes to personal life in general, actually. So yeah, I can imagine that can't be easy.
No, and it's just going off of it, just having that opening up in that book. I mean, because, you know, everything I go through in life, and it's like I remember, and it was things that happened in my life that needed a story. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people, when they see me, they don't. It's certain people who do know, but a lot of people don't. And even in the business field I'm in, you know, people see this. You know, I mean, I've been in the management field for over 20 years. In business and food, I've been in food service over 20 years of my life as well, and as a manager, and so when people see me, they think everything was just handed to me because I've got this great job, great career, but they have no idea, you know, no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I ask Kendall Cobb, do you have any questions?
So my main question is, hi, random over here, don't mind me. How did you and your wife meet?
Oh, let's see. She loves this story. We met in prison.
Well,
all right, so here it is. Here's the story. I was a food service director, you know, for the DRC. And we met in Marion. I was assistant food service director at Marion, and she came in as a coordinator. So she came in as a coordinator. I was around this time, I was like a year divorced, and I had no idea about, nothing. It's just how God and things work sometimes. But I met her. And here's the thing: when you're trying to have a relationship around a bunch of inmates, that's just the craziest thing to ever do. Is because like they're all like talking stuff and like, oh, James, and we met though, and I don't know, it's just chemistry. And it was crazy because we end up having to I was being a manager and she was a coordinator. I had to she had to leave the prison because you can't fraternize or not like that. She left the prison. She jumped out and got a job doing something else at the county jail as a director here. And I end up leaving the company and going on to something else. And I don't know, just things kind of came together and it all connected. And we've been together ever since. We've been together going on close to 7. We've been married going on 2 years. We've been together close to 7 years.
Aw. I just love her too. If anybody knew her, they would know. I just love her. SGF Graham, I don't know if you're back in or not.
Yeah, I'm back, but I was about to go back outside though with the other dog.
Do you have a question real quick or no?
No, I wanted to. He probably already talked about more about the fighting when I was outside with the first dog, so that was probably what I wanted. I don't know what else there is to here, so that was probably what I would have had something to say about.
Okay, all right.
But I hear the rest in about 5 more minutes.
Okay. So, what does success honestly mean to you now compared to when you first started it?
I think success means to me now is hold on 1 second. I think success means to me now is just kind of making sure leaving something positive for my kids and leaving a legacy of things I was able to do and being that provider, to be able to provide people in the community outlets. I think my big success for me is really kind of making an imprint on my community. That's success for me right now. It's just making a dent in the change in environment in my community. And and I feel good when I do that. Being an agent of change in my community, that's success for me.
I like that. I like that. How important is community support when it's someone is chasing their vision?
Oh man. Say that question one more time so I can make sure I get the right answer.
How important is community
Yes.
support when someone is chasing their vision?
It's so important because here's the thing. When you got community support when somebody's chasing their vision, it really motivates us. It's just like you going to work, you're working real hard and nobody ever tells you good job. Sometimes somebody can come up to you and say, hey man, good job today or whatever. And that little bit can take your work and just puts a smile on your face and it keeps you going. Sometimes that community support is what keeps us going. A lot of us, we pull even if that's not happening because we just have something inside that makes us do it. But once the community support does happen, because I've had things that I've did in the community and I've got it's been crazy because it's been some backlash, but it's also been it's been why is so much is people are good to do backlash on events or things people doing, But for somebody to roll out, say, I support you, sometimes in the community is a hard thing. And I don't get why. I mean, it's rough, but people don't understand when we're doing things like this, support is what keeps us going. You want things like this. You want to keep having things, like this podcast, like, the people's podcast here I'm on, Unseen Twist and Truth podcast. You guys want people to support you, right? So in order for you to keep doing this, you got to have that support. But if not, you're going to do it because it's something you believe in, but it's going to make you feel better and make you be more motivated when you do it if community supports you.
Yeah.
Community support is what keeps the engine going.
I got so much to say about that. But you had us right. We are the People's Podcast. Our company is Unseen Twisted Truth. That's the umbrella.
Got it.
So how about this? What advice would you give somebody who feels overlooked, unsupported, or afraid to start?
You never know the impact you can have if you never start. You never know what you're capable of doing if you never give it a try. That's the words I could say. If you don't take the risk, you'll never know the impact you can have. You got to take risks. I mean, me and my friend, once again, Jameson Mills Tier, were just talking about it. And sometimes we wonder about the stress, right? The stress and all the things we go through with, whether it's putting together a show, putting together a podcast, doing a podcast, putting together an event, making a music album, shooting a video, all the many different things that, we will collab and do. And people be like, we don't have to do it, but we choose to. We choose to take risk and to be able to help people be put in a position that is being that risk taker, because, everybody ain't risk takers. And so how do you ever know the impact you'll have if you don't take a risk? And if you want to wake up and be that person that makes an impact in your community or in people's lives, it's risks you got to take. So you just can't say, hey, I want to be this person, but don't do anything. You got to do it. And a lot comes with that. The stress, the no support, it comes with that. But I will always tell people, if you feel you don't got support, don't stop doing it, because you got to understand, who are you doing? Are you doing it for them, or are you doing it for yourself? And you got to look at it like that, because if you're doing things to please other people, like I tell people all the time, if you're doing this for the hand clap of a community that you don't think is going to support you, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. You got to do it if it fills your cup. Like me doing the things I do, putting people in position, putting together shows, doing podcasts, all of these things fill my cup personally as a man. Like, they bring joy to my life, and that's why I'm going to always do it. I don't care who claps or not. These fill my cup. If I didn't do these things, my wife would hate me, because I'd be a very miserable man.
I can receive that. That.
Yes.
So what legacy do you hope people remember you for beyond the business or the entertainment?
For being a man that never changes, that never changed up. That's one thing I stand behind. Never changing up, never switching up the man I've always been. People can say that a lot about me, like, Ryan's never changed up. And I pride myself behind being me, genuinely me, every day, no matter where I'm at. And that's one of the things I want people to always remember about me, is Ryan's always stayed the same, no matter what.
I appreciate that about you. I honestly do. I have a different question.
Okay.
Did you ever feel like quitting?
You know what? Did I ever feel like quitting? And I have like stopped a million times. And I feel every time I've stopped, because it's whether it's throwing shows, podcasts, recording music. Because it was a point in time where I would always record music and run independent, productions out of my house, and I will stop because I'll just not be motivated, or people would stress me out and I wouldn't do it. But every time I stopped, a piece of me would kind of go away. I would just be like, something would be missing because I would feel like I was just doing, just all of a sudden I became like normal, like dependent on the job or whatever I was doing, like to just float. Nothing gave me that happiness. That cup wasn't getting filled anymore. So last time, over the years and when I decided to pick it back up, I said, I'm never going to put this thing down. I said, because it's a part of me and I'm never going to lose that. I said, because I know the type of person I could be without it. I said, but I just got to learn how to multitask, throughout life and put everything together. So yeah, I have stopped, but like I've never said I'm just going to quit altogether. Like, cause this is me. I love it. It fills my cup.
So I'm going to ask everybody the same questions from here out. Golden Eagle, have you ever felt like quitting?
Oh, absolutely. Quitting, yeah, in 100 different ways, 100 different times, for sure.
SGF Graham, have you ever felt like quitting?
Sure. What's the next question?
Kendall Cobb, have you ever felt like quitting?
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
For me, I never ever felt like quitting the podcast. I never felt like quitting my business ever. And I don't care if one person watched or none watched, or I had one co-host or no co-host. I still did it. I never ever felt like quitting that. In life, oh yeah, that's the heaviest thing ever. When I'm doing it for somebody else, it's different. But when I do it for myself, that's when I want to give up. I don't know. That's it. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but I go harder for others than I used to. I can't say no more. I used to for myself. Can you relate to that, Ryan?
Yes, I can. All day. And that's the thing about it, is going hard for yourself. And sometimes you gotta be your own cheerleader, right? You gotta be I always tell people, like, I'm gonna be my biggest cheerleader, because if nobody cheers for you, I'm gonna cheer. If nobody cheers for me, I'm gonna cheer for myself, and that's gonna keep me going. Because that's we gotta have that engine that drives us. Because, like I said, when we depend on others, it can hurt us. It can hurt us.
Yeah, I can receive that. I can receive that a lot. So the next question for everybody is, have you ever felt responsible of holding others together while silently struggling yourself? Golden Eagle.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes to the point where it was even in one way or some fashion my own downfall. So yeah, for sure.
Ryan James, have you ever felt, and for some reason I like saying both your front and last name together. It just doesn't go well, just Ryan. I like Ryan James for some reason. A lot of people call you Ryan James?
I got a lot of people call me James.
Okay.
And then it's Ryan, but Ryan James is just like, it's because they get the two first names like all over the place, but it's all good.
I just think it flows better. Like Kimberly or Karen Ann.
I would say for me, yeah, I've back in the day when I used to manage like over 10 to 15 young rap artists, R&B artists, and we used to put out a bunch of CDs and music back in the up north days. You know, I used to work so hard on getting everybody out and getting them music out and recording them every day and taking care of them and helping them put money in their pocket. I used to do so much for everybody else, and when you're doing so much for everybody else, nobody really checks on you.
Yeah.
And that was the main thing. Like everybody was like, "Oh, so you gonna help me do this? You gonna?" I began to be one of those people that always help me. Like, and that's kind of still sometimes it's the theme. It's just, I mean, I really love helping people. It's kind of what fills my cup. But it got to a point where it was really bad, where it was like it got to being like using. So I had to really separate myself to say, if I do something, I'm going to do it because I want to do it, not to please anybody. So you can't be a people pleaser doing this because you will forget about yourself.
Mhm.
And so sometimes I really do get super selfish when it comes to me. If somebody's blocking this mental and really stressing this mental, I am so quick to do the cutoff move, and it's like Ryan's not picking up his phone. He ain't answering. I will, if you get to disturbing this, it's nothing to cut you off. Because I tell people all the time, the phone won't get answered. When I shut it down, I shut it down when I want. I get real greedy when it comes to my mental space.
I love that.
Yeah.
Kendall Cobb, have you ever felt responsible for holding others together while silently struggling yourself?
Something told me no right away because it's not my responsibility anymore. So nope.
I love that for you. I love that for you. SGF Graham, have you ever felt responsible for holding others together while you were struggling yourself?
Let me say it loud for the people in the back. Hell to the no, no, no. Nope. Mm-mm. My dad, but I was always raised, no matter how hard I go with somebody else's stuff, make sure I go just as hard with mine. So I could spend a lot of time and you'll think I'm engulfed in yours. But once I see that this is done or there's no progression, I'm finna dive that hard in mine and you're gonna be like, well, I'm at, like on mine or whatever, and I'm not gonna care. But like I said, I was raised that way. My dad was, he happened to be there and those were the things he instilled in me. So
The answer for me is I didn't look at it this way until just now. Even though I helped, or I actually am the founder and the creator of Unseen Twisted Truths, I forgot though that I also am a person because I was so invested. I don't know, Ryan, if you could relate to this, because I was so invested into building a brand that I forgot I also had another business. Plus, me as an individual, I am an integrative holistic health practitioner and herbalist. And I never once mentioned that ever on the People's Podcast until recently, because I forgot that I had certifications to do this.
Yeah.
I wasn't just a co-host and just someone whose opinion mattered. I thought I really actually have classifications and certifications to do this. And I never once mentioned that because I was too busy trying to help other people and this brand.
Yeah. I know exactly how you feel. Gosh, it's just like doing everything you do and sometimes, for instance, like where I work at Ohio Health, I'm a food nutrition manager for Mansfield and Shelby. So if you guys ever down there get the food, like I'm behind the scenes trying to make all that happen. You ever eat good food at the hospital? I'm behind the scenes trying to make that happen. But one of the things that is crazy because people at the hospital have actually, like people in administration, hospital presidents have seen things I've did, like things I do, like music and stuff and events. And they was like, wow, I didn't know you do that. I see you all the time. And I was reading the paper and I see you in the paper. And it goes to show, like, you know, sometimes you forget like your value of a person. It's just not in one lane. Just like you said, you're you know what I mean, the credentials you got for yourself, and you know, and the credits and the certifications you got, like you got that. And sometimes you just think this whole podcast is like, is it? But it's not it. You know, and as a person, I think we all have to realize, like, we bring so many things to the table that, like, it don't matter if people don't appreciate me doing one thing. Like, I know all the things I do it for myself, so I can pat myself on the back, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. So, Golden Eagle, do people truly know the real behind what? Do people really know the real behind your everyday role or image?
You know, I mean, I feel like we're currently probably not a whole lot of people do, just because I've gone through so many personal changes in this past year, and I've kind of withdrawn myself just to kind of find myself a little more, you know, and so I think a lot of people that probably think they do probably don't, you know, people that I have known for a really long time who probably have known me really well, actually, at this point, probably don't really know me as of today. But in some ways, I'm proud of that, you know, because, like I said, I've gone through some personal growth, a lot of personal growth, and a lot of personal changes too, just as to who I am today compared to just who I was just a year ago, you know. And so I got to say, for the most part, no. For the most part, no. Some people do, you know, but very few. And my circle's been really small this past year. So, you know, it's been a good thing, though. It's been good for me, you know, and that's the goal, really. So
I want to touch base on something real quick. I want people to realize how important it is to listen to the universe before I ask everybody else the same question. I really want people to realize how important it is. Out of the blue, one day I decided to call Golden Eagle, and I've known, like, everybody who knows, I've known Golden Eagle ever since I was a young child, like goofy looking young child, and elementary school. So anyhow, one day out of the blue, I decided to call Golden Eagle and have a conversation with them. And then out of the blue, again, I decided to invite them on as part of the co-host. And I didn't realize how important that meant or would have meant to Golden Eagle until I did it. And I just listened to the universe. So sometimes when you get aligned and you have an urge in your gut to do something, do it, because you never know who it's going to affect and how it's going to help somebody else's life. Right.
Yeah, it was really big for me. And it's helped me along my journey in a big way too. Really, it really has. So,
you know, and I've known him forever. I didn't think about asking. Go ahead. What'd you say? I apologize.
Just you know, I've said it before, but yeah, I'm grateful. Yeah. I'm just you know, grateful to be a part of this, and I'm grateful for the growth that I've been able to obtain in the process too. So yeah, that phone call went a long way, you know.
Yeah, and you never know when until you ask somebody if they needed something, or if they're okay, or would you like to be a part of something, because everybody wants to belong to something and you don't know who's waiting to belong. Ryan, do people truly know who you are behind your everyday role or image?
Not everybody. It's just only my I would say a certain few know everything about me and know me. But I think, you know, what people do see, the everyday people who do see me, they see a good person, you know, throughout all the trials and tribulation. They see a person that's always smiling. They see me in public. It's always good conversation, a good vibe. And, you know what I mean? I really, really go out of my way to make sure I'm a good vibe for people because my thing is uplifting people no matter where they're at
Mhm.
because I know it could be worse. Even if sometimes the day may not be going good for me, but to uplift somebody else, it just makes me feel better. But
Mhm.
I think people who really have seen my story play out, because I've been through everything from, just different incidents and, bad, good times, bad times. Some things were played out where, the public knew and I've been kind of put out there. But I think even in my worst moments, people always said like, "Hey, that Ryan's a good guy."
Mm.
Yeah, so don't dare try to bash his name because he's a good person. And I always have to say, I'm glad I put that type of energy out into the atmosphere where no matter what may come up against me, my name and me as a person can stand on being good people, you know. So yeah.
I have another question for you before I'm going to ask everybody else the same question first, but I have a question for you. I'm going to remember it.
Yeah.
I got ADHD, but I'm definitely going to remember this. Kendall Cobb, do people truly know the real you behind your everyday roles or image?
Something tells me no, not at all. I have good intentions all the time. They really don't understand my aspects all the time either.
Mm,
So when it comes to trying to understand who I am, I still question sometimes. But when it comes to knowing who I am personally, yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with that.
I can receive that. SGF Graham, do people really know truly know the real you behind your everyday role or image?
One more time for the people in the back. Now I'm playing, but nah, nah, they don't. People know what resonate with them, and when I only talk to them about what resonate with them, it can sometimes confuse them that they know me. And but I haven't really ran into nobody that truly knows me. But I've been blessed to have people that still ride with me anyway. And even if they don't really understand what's going on at this point in time, they trust that the outcome is going to be okay anyway.
Okay, all right. Um, I don't know how to properly answer this because one, I don't really care if somebody knows me or not because I'm authentic to myself on an everyday base. I don't know how to be any other way but me. I'm awkward and great at the same time. So I don't know. I don't have an image that I put on or a role to pretend to be. I'm just me and I don't really know people what they know of me. I don't honestly care what they know of me either. So, and that's not even a bad thing at
Right.
all. I'm in my own universe trying to control that one, and that's enough for me. That's all I can think of. So, my question for you, Ryan, is how does it feel working in the prison when you could have went to the prison?
Wow. Oh my gosh. I tell people, wow. When I got to working in there, because it reminded me like and it's a way of the creator, if God let me know like, hey man, like I, I got you out of there. I
Yeah.
got you away from that. I got you out of there. So as a reward, I'm gonna remind you what could have been around the corner. And let's see how you turn this around, what purpose you get out of this. So my purpose I got out of that was not only being a food service director for the DRC for over close to 7 years, but when I was a Marion, I got the chance to mentor inmates.
Oh.
And I had this program. Um, I had this program where we had a whole, it was like basically a life development program where it taught you how to restructure your life. and it was called Get Real. Get Real. And I'm trying to remember the acronym. The acronym stood for restructure your life, educate your mind, activate your purpose, and long-term set your goals. Real. I taught that in the prisons to the inmates, and these guys were on death row, murders, everything. And I actually put a curriculum together. I don't know where this teacher came from that came up, but it just all of it. The ideas started coming to me as I was approached with the opportunity, and I literally instructed a class where we had this curriculum. I had inmates that graduated from my class. They had certificates, and they went on to actually teach the class when I wasn't there. And this class was strictly on how to restructure your life, because I that's what I did. It's like, and the first thing I did was I taught them. I'm like, the first thing you do when you restructure your life is you figure out, you restructure what you're doing. So me, I told him, I'm like, okay, I was a street guy. I sold drugs. I did bad things. I'm like, that's not what I want to do anymore. So let me restructure my life, get away from that. And next thing I know, I went into managing in food service, because that was the opportunity to lead. And then, you know what I mean? I educated myself on the business, and then I activated what I wanted in my career. So instead of hanging around the drug dealers, robbers, and all that stuff, I started hanging around business people in this industry I wanted to be in. You know what I mean? I kind of, start activating myself around different people. And once I got all that done, I just set a long-term goal. And I went from, as in this business, I went from that to basically being like an hourly manager at restaurants, to the point where my education, along with building my degrees up, college degrees and stuff, it got me able to write my own salary. So now when I go into a job, my experience and my degrees say, I need this much money. And like, being able to go from this side of the coin to the point where you put on a resume, like, this is how much money you guys got to pay me for what I do. That's a completely mind-blowing thing. So when I was in that prison, I was shown, like, you could have kept going the wrong way and you would have been right in this line. And my wife, Heather, always telling me all the time, you could have been in line begging me for a chicken patty, because she still does that. She's still a food service director. So she could have been like, you could have been in line begging me for a chicken patty. And we always talk about that, but yeah, that was different. And and by me getting the opportunity to teach and mentor in there, it motivated me to be like, yeah, like, your story is what, and the inmates really believed in me because of my story. Because I told them, like, I actually changed things for my life to be here in front of you guys. Like, I could have been in here with you guys, but I'm in here sharing my story and letting you guys know what you can do. So yeah, definitely. It was crazy.
So because I speak to the universe, I'm going to ask you a whole different question that's almost similar, though. The universe told me to ask you. It wasn't good growing up. And I'm not going to go too deep into that, because how did you become a different father and husband compared to what you've seen? Because this is mental health awareness, and men's mental health matters. And a lot of people don't feel vulnerable or cannot articulate how important it is to break the generational trauma.
Right. So growing up, my uncle was like a big father figure. My father was in my life, but my uncle was really my father figure. It was like, it was this brother, like, it was almost like, the big brother seeing the little brother not really struggling or going through some things. And so the big brother picked up some things, said, hey, let me get my nephew, and my uncle taught me a lot. And my dad My dad was always there. I can't, one thing I will never say, I love my dad. My dad was always there. But I think some pivotal things that was taught to me, my uncle really, I have memories of my uncle showing me things, and it carries on with me as a man between him and my grandfather, and seeing all that with my son and the father I am today with my son and my daughter. I'm that type of father that I'm in their lives. I always say I'm not the dad that's going to pay. I'm not the pay dad. I'm not the paymaster. I'm not to come get $100 or $200 from me and then you don't see me. I just drop you off money and that's it.
Mhm.
No, I'm involved. I'm all like my son stays with me not right now. He goes to Lexington School and I'm on him all the time. And it's like I have these my daughter and son have meetings about how dad's lectures suck. And we dad's lectures and but my daughter's 26, my son's about to be 14. But they know they're getting something out of it because they listen.
Yeah.
Especially my daughter. She calls me all the time now just to talk. And I love that.
Yeah. So at this part of the show, because we're getting ready to wrap it up, Golden Eagle is going to read the reflection, and then we go around and say positive quotes or affirmations or passing on wisdom before we end, because we want to leave on a positive note. So go ahead, read the reflective.
Sometimes the strongest people in the room are the ones silently carrying the most pressure. We live in a world where people celebrate outcomes while overlooking the emotional cost it took to get there. Tonight reminds us that every creator, every leader, every mentor, and every visionary is still human. They still need support, peace, understanding, and room to heal. Growth begins when people stop performing strength and start embracing honesty. Real connection happens when people feel safe enough to remove the mask and speak from experience instead of image. Maybe somebody listening tonight has been carrying pressure alone. Maybe somebody feels unseen despite constantly showing up for everyone else. Hopefully this conversation reminds you that your voice matters too. Your story matters too.
All right, so let's do the positive message. So what's your positive message, Golden Eagle?
Be inspired. Yeah, honestly, these last couple of shows where we've been able to have men like Ryan.
Irvin.
And well, actually, Ryan's actually reminded me of a personal friend of mine that I need to reach out to. His last name.
You definitely do now you mention his name.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about him this whole show because, like I said, his last name is James, and he's from Ohio, the Toledo area. But and I haven't talked to him in a while, so I definitely
better reach out
to him tonight for sure. But yeah, just hearing people's stories, it's I feel like it's been good for me too because it's inspiring, and you need to let yourself be inspired. Inspiration is the key to so many great things, and so yeah, my positive note is just allow yourself to be inspired.
Okay. Ryan, do you know Irvin?
You never know.
Irvin James.
Yeah, could be cool. I mean,
if you and James, we connect somehow.
Right, and like I said, yeah, he's from. I'm pretty sure he came from Toledo, but he's staying down in Florida in Miami now. Last time I spoke to him, but again, just the name he's been on my mind for the last hour, so I'm reaching out to him for sure.
You better.
He's a great man. He is. He's a really good dude. Yeah.
Positive message, Ryan.
Positive message I will say is adversity. Don't think adversity is a bad thing. Adversity only makes you better. Adversity makes you better.
You don't know this because you don't watch my show, but we just did a subject called Anointed by Adversity. We just did one on it. Showing how it was like 2 weeks ago, showing how your pain actually builds you, that it's given to you on purpose.
Yes.
So that was great of you to say that.
Yes.
SGF Graham, I'm coming to you after Kendall. Kendall Cobb, positive message.
Whatever it was, I didn't do it.
And I'm with her on that one.
I don't know. She sounds guilty to me. That's what the guilty
I'll never
say.
admit
I
to
didn't
that
do it.
either. It's okay though.
I'm gonna let her have that. SGF Graham, positive message.
Damn it, I was gonna say the same thing. Nah, I'm playing. I'm gonna say one that my dad used to say to me every time I used to let something mentally wreck me, and he would never explain it and just say, "One day you'll get it. Only you can prevent forest fires."
Oh,
I didn't know what that meant for years, and it almost used to aggravate me harder than what was actually aggravating me when he would say it and just walk off or whatever, But I finally figured out, and treat your mind like a wilderness. Calm down. Don't burn it down while you in it. Do whatever, calm down, breathe. You got it once you calm down and breathe.
all right. My positive message is, for some reason, I'm connected to SGF Graham so weirdly beyond this universe. That's like one of my best friends. But anyhow, when my son was little, he used to go around saying he's the only one who can prevent forest fires. He said it all the time. I'm telling you, to anybody, anytime they put a cigarette out or anything, he was jumping on it and says, I'm the only one that could prevent forest fires. He didn't realize that meaning, and I'm gonna share it with him because he needs to know that meaning of it, because sometimes he's a hot mess. So I'm gonna have to pass that on to him. Remember, you're the only one that could do this. Now he's 34, so it might not hit as much as it would have if he was younger. But at the end of the day, so cute seeing a little boy going around jumping on anything that was on fire, thinking he was the only one because Smokey the Bear told him. So my positive message is, I didn't really have a family per se, and I always wanted love and to be loved. And once I allowed the universe to give me everything instead of me searching for it, I got the biggest family ever. And I'm so grateful for my Twisted team. I'm so grateful for all the love and the joy they bring me every single day. They fulfill such a void I had within me. And I'm honestly grateful for it. This was just a beautiful thing that I didn't realize that I really needed. Someone said, start a podcast. I said, okay. And then from there out, don't tell me to do something because I'm a Capricorn. I don't quit.
Yes.
And I'm just going to go above and beyond, and I'll do whatever you need to do too, plus.
That's right.
Because I'm a Capricorn.
That's what we do. I'm a Cap too.
We do.
Yep.
So I love this for me, and I love this for everybody else too, because not only did I need it, but usually, I promise you, the people that talk to you throughout the day, they also needed you as much as you needed them. So stop and give someone a hug and ask them if they're okay, because you never know. You could be saving a life, and it may even be your own.
That's right.
Right on.
So my call to action. And I'm really good at this shit. Just be honest. I'm just going to let you know. Thank you, Ryan James, for sitting with us, sitting with the family tonight and sharing perspectives, wisdom, experiences, and truth with us. If tonight's conversation connected with you, share this discussion with somebody who may need to be encouraged, motivated, healing, or simply just a reminder that they are not alone in this journey. We also want to hear from you. If you have a story worth hearing, reach out to us, because this is the platform and this is why it was built. It was built for people with real conversations. Follow, support, engage, and continue helping us grow as a community. We're the People's Podcast with the ears that will listen, and people feel like they've been seen, heard, respected, and valued. Don't just be different, become the difference. Until next time, thank you everyone for taking time out of your day to come here with us. May your night be full of positive energy and high vibration, filled with peace and love. Peace. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.
Love, man. Yeah, it was a great show.
Great.
Thanks,
Brian,
Ron.
you're gonna have to give me an interview on your platform.
Yes, I sure will. Definitely. Matter of fact, I'm going to be putting the schedule together. I'll be reaching out to you.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome. I appreciate everything.
All right. Peace and love. Thank you.
Love. Thank you.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people. Rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you were smothered. Where them tries could have killed you. But with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so